For the record, just a little disclaimer here, I still want to play the game. I'm just talking about my personal opinions on some things that I've heard circling around. This does not mean I don't want you to get the game, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to get the game. I still want to get the game and have a good time with it. So, with that in mind, enjoy the video. I want you guys to go ahead and prepare yourselves for all the ums and whatnots you're going to hear, because this is 100% unscripted. 98%. Anyway, good luck, kids. So after finally witnessing a lot more gameplay from this previous E3 of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there have been a lot of worries and whatnot circling around the community, and I wanted to go ahead and address my opinion on them, even though I know at this point they've probably been touched upon a lot. But, I don't know, I mean, I figured there was a lot that there needs to be gone over, and I wanted to talk about them, so why don't we just go ahead and hop in so you guys know what I'm talking about. One of the worries that has been circling around has been the grinding aspect. Now, unless you don't play RPGs, you know what grinding is. And for the off chance that you don't, grinding is basically where you go out, you battle, you get stronger, you get level ups. In Pokemon's case, you go out, you battle Pokemon, you level up. You go out, you battle Pokemon, you level up, and you level up your team and all that. You know this, as well as I do. In Pokemon Let's Go's case, the only way for you to level up is to either battle trainers or catch Pokemon. And that's a little strange for a lot of us. So as far as grinding goes, the only real way for you to level up properly is to catch Pokemon, and that levels up your entire team, as well as battling, which does make it a little bit easier. But if I don't have any Pokeballs or anything, what am I going to do about that, On the off chance that I still happen to run out of Pokeballs, am I just screwed? On the off chance that I have battled every single trainer that's accessible to me at that point before the next gym, or before the champion, what then? Am I just done? Can I rebattle those trainers to get more money to get Pokeballs? Or can I keep rebattling those trainers using the VS Seeker that I don't even know exists in this generation or this game? What happens next? Like, what do I do if I cannot level up properly? I mean, obviously, this game is a little bit hand-holdy, which is another worry that I'm going to get to later. But there's no decent way for me to level up unless I'm catching really good Pokemon. But at the same time, I guess there is the Pokemon Go Park in which you can catch your legendary, but again, that's another. There's worries that kind of like negate each other and worries that kind of help each other. But you'll get what I'm saying in a minute. But anyway, grinding is you can't traditionally grind the way you would want to, and that's a little worrisome. But I guess Let's Go has its own way of grinding, and that's how I'm going to live with that for now until I get the game in my own hands and I figure out how the system operates. Because there's no way they would make it so that it's impossible for you to grind. Unless it's literally that easy, and we're literally just that dumb. I don't know. A lot of people seem to be a little bit livid as far as the fact that there's no real difficulty. But obviously, these are more veteran Pokemon players. Now, a lot of people will make the defense, oh, this is Pokemon Let's Go, this is not a traditional Pokemon game, this is not a main core series game, even though it kind of is and isn't at all at the same time. The primary game is coming next year, but this is not, a primary game. This is not made for the core veteran players of the Pokemon series. This is made to infuse the Pokemon Go players into the main core series by fusing those. But at the same time, you can't treat the Pokemon Go players like dummies either. Okay, most of the people that have gotten into Pokemon Go, I'm sure they know what Pokemon is. They have an idea of what Pokemon is, and they're not foolish. They're not completely clueless on how the games work, right? I would assume not. I would imagine most of the people that have gotten into Pokemon Go, obviously they just so happen to, they saw an app and it was Pokemon, the official Pokemon series, the official Pokemon company released an app for us to play on the go. But you can't just assume they're completely clueless and have no idea what to do for themselves in the game. I mean, when you look at Pokemon Go, people who play this game religiously, they are so smart and they are so competitive and so deep with this game, and I can't imagine why those players wouldn't want any challenge from such a game that's specifically made for them either, right? What I'm getting at is the game is a little too hand-holdy, especially for the beginning. First off, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that the Pikachu that you get in Let's Go Pikachu can learn Double Kick. Pokemon veterans have lost their minds because Pikachu cannot learn Double Kick that early. But even then, the icing on that cake, the strawberry to your cupcake, that made no sense. The strawberry to your cupcake is when you go into the first gym, Brock's gym. Again, this may not be for the whole game, but for the beginning gym, for the first gym, they literally do not allow you to walk into the gym unless you have a typing that's super effective against what the Pokemon trainers and the gym leader have in that gym. You are not allowed in there unless you confirm that you're able to beat it. Which is pretty ridiculous considering the fact that Pikachu, the Pokemon that you start with, so you know that's going to be your strongest Pokemon at that point, has Double Kick. Double Kick. Do you see how unnecessary that is? There's no difficulty, at least at the beginning stages. And if it's that easy early on, I can't imagine how hard it would get later. I mean, again, a Pikachu with Double Kick. This Pokemon does not learn this move. This is a fighting type move on an electric type that evolves into just an electric type. What purpose did they have to give that to him? You know, I mean, I guess in one way you could think of it as an event Pikachu where it's like, oh, this Pikachu has this, like much like the Pikachu, the event Pikachu has Surf. You know, but that's still kind of pushing it. You know, and giving this Pikachu an entirely new move is like slapping a veteran in the face and saying, hey, you don't need luck, just take this Pikachu and get through the game. You know, we don't want to get through the game. You know, there's some people that want challenge. There's some people that want to be pushed back. Not all of us want to have an easy time through the game. Not all of us just want to... Thanks, speaker. Not all of us just want to breeze through the game like it's nothing. You know, we want to spend time. We want to get angry sometimes. We want to feel that frustration. The more frustration you feel for a game and the more you're playing it, that's how you know you really like it. That's how you know you want to get. That's how you know you're working hard to get through it. And when you finally do push past that barrier of difficulty, that's when you know you've accomplished something. At least you get this sense of accomplishment when you've finally done it. And with the beginning of this game so far, with what they've shown, there's not much to that. You don't feel like you've accomplished very much when they've given it to you. They've given you the easy. They've given you the easy way out. Of course, you can choose to get rid of the Pikachu, you know. I mean, you do have that option, but it's the fact that it's been placed in front of you to begin with. You know, am I wrong here for thinking that way? You know, it's just it's just such a easy way out. You know, it's I don't know how to explain how I feel about that. It's odd, but it's not. I'm not angry. I'm not pissed off. I'm just saying I do like a certain level of difficulty in the games that I enjoy, and being able to get through that and learn on my own is what I like about them. Like, I like the ability of failing and learning. You know, I did that with an entire game recently, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I didn't really understand the mechanics all that well. But I got through it because I learned. I failed. I've died. I've lost so many different boss battles, and it's because I was learning. I was getting better, and I was getting to understand the game. Of course, you know, Pokemon is made for everyone. Of course, that's perfectly fine. Pokemon is made for ages all around. But, you know, you can't just keep giving the kid the dollar. You know, you have to teach that kid eventually that he has to earn that dollar on his own before he can go get that ice cream. You know, you have to teach the kid that, you know, this fire type that you chose, Charmander, is not effective against this Rockmon. What else can I do? I have other Pokemon in the box. Maybe I should train some of them and see what goes on with that, and maybe a difference will come along. You know, but just giving that kid the Pikachu and saying, here you go, kid, have an easy time with it. You don't need to learn anything. Just go through the story. You know, it's kind of offensive, isn't it? It's kind of a slap in the face with a fish. So that's just my take on it. Yeah, the difficulty level is kind of scary right now. Again, we've seen just a little bit. We haven't seen everything. We've seen a small chunk of the game. We've seen up to the first gym, and we've seen the Pokemon Go Park. We barely even know how that operates. So it's not like we don't have time to figure out what's going to happen next. But I do hope that the young ones who do get their hands on this game, they have a chance to learn and experience failure to succession on their own. That's not the words I'm looking for, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. So that's it on that, I guess. The next thing I wanted to bring up is that there is no real purpose in the second player. A lot of people have brought this to my attention, and I actually agree now that I look heavily at it. The second player, you throw in with the Joy-Con, they're able to battle with you to make things even easier than they already are. Is that it? They follow you around, they help you catch Pokemon, and they can battle with you. Adding a second player literally just makes the game twice as easy. Am I crazy? Or does it feel like we don't even really need that second player? You know, there's a whole difference between having somebody sit next to you and help you than having somebody who has their own Switch, their own game, or whatever, being able to play alongside with you or go on their own adventure, you know, and maybe you guys meet up and you're able to battle again or trade again, but they help you. That's their primary purpose. You can't even battle them because they're using your Pokemon in battles. They are using your Pokeball when you guys go to catch Pokemon, and it's like they're not even their own person. It's just a clone of you who just happens to be sitting next to you. You know, it's almost like it's almost as purposeless. That's not the word. It's almost as useless as, like, the second player in Super Mario Galaxy. You know, they collect the stars and they do the button stuff. And it's fun. It's neat. Sure. And I gotta say that this is definitely a step up from that. And these aren't even the same company, so it's kind of unfair to compare the second player thing. But it's kind of in the same ballpark. It's kind of in that same arena where the second player doesn't even need to be there. They don't do much. They make things even easier for you, which obviously co-op games do that. But you know, there's some aspects to where I do like challenge when it comes to playing with somebody next to you. I like the challenge of being able to race to the finish to beat your opponent. You know, the person sitting next to you could be your rival. Like, that makes a little more sense to me than somebody who's just sitting there. What should I push? Oh, this? Yeah, sure. Duh. It's like, that's a little lame. That's a little unfortunate. So, yeah, as far as second player goes, they pop in, pop out whenever they want to make things easy for you. You know, you can't really expect if somebody were to do a co-op Let's Play, that second person would be there and it would be neat, but I can't imagine, based on the first, like, gym that we've seen, I can't imagine that the game will be hard enough to where you need a second player with you. That's just my take on it. Like, I have to imagine, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it would be good to have. It'll be neat to have somebody playing with you whenever they want, to be able to try out the game for themselves, and so that way there's two people able to play with you. But for the most part, it's not really more harm than it is help. Again, it's another one of those difficulty things where people need to learn on their own, and just throwing in a second player after it's already so easy, that doesn't accomplish much, you know? So, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. The final thing I wanted to touch upon was that the rival isn't really a rival. He's more of a friend or an assistant that just so happens to be going after what you're going after, and so happens to have Pokemon that you can battle. But, I don't know, there's not much to that, you know? We have Trace, you know, this good kid, he's a nice guy, whatever, cool beans, cool beans. And it's not like we haven't had nice rivals before, but there was always some aspect to our rivals that showed that they were willing to compete with you, willing to, you know, take you out if need be. Even with Hao, one of the nicest, coolest guys you know in the Pokemon universe, he was more of a rival than Trace is, you know what I mean? I don't know, Trace could surprise us. We don't know anything yet. It's a little early to be yelling about it, I know, but so far, I don't know, he doesn't look like much. You know, he doesn't really stand out from the crowd as much. That's just how he seems so far. He could change. He could become a complete asshole by the end of the game. He could be just like, spoiler alerts, but it's been years now, so if you haven't beaten if you haven't gotten to the end of Pokemon Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon by now, what are you doing, mate? he could be much like how, and at the end, he comes after you for the throne, or he gets to the throne first. You know? So, it's a little early to be, you know, bagging on him, ragging on him. And it's not like we haven't had trainers and rivals that haven't helped you out in the past and given you items or healed your Pokemon, but there's always good reason. You know, they put their own worries, in most cases it would be because they're putting their own worries aside for the greater good. And to do that, they had to help you. You know, they put their pride aside for the most part. Even Silver, I'm sure, sometimes would be of assistance to you, but not all the time. You know, he would still be that grade A asshole. I don't know. There was a balance. There was a balance. And with Trace, it seems the tails are... Wow, what? The scales are tipped a little bit in the nicer area, is what it is. I don't hate him, because I don't know him. I don't know much about him, and I'm not even complaining at this point. It's just what it looks like so far. You know, and that's what a lot of people I've seen and heard are talking about. You know, that the rival isn't really doing much for them so far. But again, it's early. All of this stuff is a little early. Who knows? We could be getting shut down at any point about all of this. So, only time will be able to tell. Anyway, that does it for my worries that are circling around the Pokemon Let's Go gameplay and whatnot. Yeah, I'm sorry this is yet another unscripted video. I'm probably gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these because they take less time, because I'm slow with regular scripts, and even this is probably gonna take some time to edit, so it's probably gonna take another 2 days to get out, which is mad late anyway because E3 already happened. So who knows, but anyway, I want to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and if you guys want to see more on Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, or anything Nintendo or gaming related from me, let me know. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.